My guest today is Jerrie Rotimi, one of Nigeria's best portrait photographer. The very interesting thing about this episode is that it was an eye-opener for me because Jerrie and I were friends as kids, and it talks about the abuse that he went through as a child. And it's such a funny thing because we were really close as children, but we didn't know about it. We didn't know about anything that he was going through while he was growing up. The abuse he received from his father, how, his perspective of God changed because his father is a pastor, and it did not make sense to him how someone who is a pastor, someone who is his father, someone who is a man of God would do this to their own son. It really shifted a lot inside of me to know and see how people around us are going through certain pains, certain issues, certain abuse, and we are oblivious to it. Our eyes are shut to it, and somehow we miss it even when it's in their eyes, even when they cannot say anything. It talks about love, though. It talks about heartbreaks. It talks about realizing and telling his mom that you were too good for my father. It talks about going into coma while in the hospital, not because he had an accident or because he had gone through anything drastic, but because he just fell ill and he didn't have a proper care in the hospital, and he went into coma for 2 weeks. This episode was such an emotional episode for me. It taught me a lot, and I hope it gets to teach you as much as well. Enjoy. Are you calm?
Always.
Always, really?
Always. Yep.
Why are you always calm?
Worry will not really solve will not really change anything.
Yeah.
And worry would just make you feel worse. You might already feel bad. If you now start worrying about what you feel, you'll feel worse. Especially because your worry is not really going to solve anything. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just good to just accept that whatever it is that is making you feel how you feel is already there, right? So once you can accept that, you can compartmentalize how you want to do things, how much you want that thing to affect you, how much you want to focus on other things. Because sometimes if something happens to you and you start worrying about it, you might not really have time for every other thing. Yeah. Because now you're laser focused on that thing. And if you're laser focused, it's not like you're trying to solve it, you're trying to fix anything. You're just thinking, this is paining me, this is making me feel bad. But over time, maybe because of the amount of responsibilities that I've had to take from myself and like in relation to my family over the last couple of years, I've realized that because I have so many things I have to be doing at the same time, focusing too much on something that is not really making me feel good has sort of like affected my input towards every other thing. So I just started just relax. Whatever that thing is, it's going to go two ways. It's that it can be solved eventually, or it can't be solved, right? Worrying about it the decision that you're going to make about that particular thing, you will still make it, regardless. Worrying will just make you,
Fancy. Yeah.
And you don't need so. Especially because I know that I don't think there's nothing that can't be fixed, right?
It
might take time. It might take time. It might need you to be patient. It might need you to be. But at the end of the day, regardless of whatever that situation is, there would always be. I believe, and this is just me, that there will always be a headway.
Why? How did you come to that belief and conclusion?
Well, my life has been a situation that has had both ups and downs, both negatives and positives. Do you get what I mean? And I believe that those things are needed to shape you on this journey of life that you're going. You have to go through all of those things. So the truth of the matter is, if I'm always thinking about the fact that, this thing has happened, it's not going to kill me, right? I'm still going to be alive. It might set me back, but setting me back does not mean I won't still forge ahead. you might take steps back, but you are still, the truth of the matter is you are still moving ahead. You are still moving, irrespective of the fact that you have to go back.
Yeah.
Going back, it's not like you are reversing and you are regressing all the way back to the beginning. No, you just take those steps back, but you are still moving. You are still moving. It's just that the distance, the timing, which is why I said it takes time. The time that it might take you, maybe your journey is supposed to give you 5 years, and this has set you back 2 years. That means your total is going to be 7 years because you have to make up for those 2 years that has set you back. It's just a longer time, but you are still. So, like, what's the point of really looking at? Do you get what I'm saying? You will still move past it. You will still forge ahead. Anyways. So, what is the point of now holding on to those setbacks? Do you get what I mean? Like, what's the point of? Do you get?
I think
because your journey is linear. You're still going this way. You're still going this way regardless.
I also think that even when you actually regress, and then maybe based on failure or some mistake, it makes you like a whole different person for what's to come.
Yes, because it's sort of like prepares you. It's like as you are going in the journey now, let's assume you are going on the way of Ozumba, right? You are going through Ozumba, you reach a pothole, right? You're just going, you didn't see the pothole. You go through that pothole, you hit it. You keep going. You come back home through another route, something is taking you back to the island. When you are going through Ozumba, subconsciously you know how to deal with that.
Got it.
Right? You already know that, okay, when I'm getting to this position, I have to take this way instead. I have to have something similar. I know the directions. So I feel like as much as people tend to, I used to do it too. Yeah, as much as people used to hold on to things that make them regress or things that make them feel regret. I'm not going to say I don't still have certain regrets, because as I go through life, I'm still trying to be a better person. It's not like I still don't have things that I'm trying to get my mind off of eventually. But I feel like I'm in a better position than I was some years ago. Do you understand what I mean? So I feel like even though you regress or you have things that are giving you regrets, when situations, and it's funny because sometimes when I have issues with people, right, and people say, and maybe they do something, or they do series of things, and I'm talking about like, yo, you shouldn't, this thing doesn't make sense, you shouldn't do this, or blah, blah, blah. And maybe it brings about a consequence. Whatever act they do brings about a consequence. I won't be upset when the consequence thing eventually happens. People are always surprised that I'm not upset.
My mind just went back to when we met initially in our teenage years. And it occurred to me that I think we were like 7, 8, 9, 10. Before 10.
Yeah, before 10.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know, right? And it occurred to me that there was always only 2 things I looked forward to on Sunday mornings. Well, 3. Yam and egg, because that's what we used to have. And Sunday school, and then you. And I'm like, that's so interesting how that memory just came into my mind, because I'm just like, And in us now talking again and again, I'm like, you know what's so funny is the fact that people go through so many things in life, changes happen, people go in different facets or go in different directions, but the core is still the core. It was it's been such a fascinating thing to me with my friends, especially the people I've been reconnecting with. I'm like, it's so beautiful how people never really, people change, but the core of who they are never change, because talking to you again is just taking me back to when we were younger and how we would always, like, I think it was like a you and me thing during Sunday school, because we just really like connected and we always talked. And this is like what? Almost 30 years later, like it's more than 20 years later. And I'm like, I still feel the same way I felt as a child. It's so interesting and I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for still being who you are. I know that life might have not been as easy.
I've had I can't even lie, That's why I said, I know in the beginning I was telling you that there are things that I have regrets over. Do you understand? And they are still there. Do you get? But like, it just seems like I cannot continue to be, how do I say that? I cannot continue to be a baby. Right? Because of the kind of upbringing I had and how life has, moved me around and all those kind of things. To still be able to come back here and where I am and everything. I'm still learning, to be honest. I always, when people ask me, oh, how are you and something, I don't even tell them I'm fine. I just say I'm living and learning, because the truth of the matter is I'm still alive. I'm still going through everything, but I'm constantly learning. Like, it's just it's like the motto that I move around with now. I'm living and I'm learning. I'm living and I'm learning, because I've had so many experiences over the years that has always been like a lesson. And I just feel like I'll just keep learning.
Yeah.
It might be positive, it might be negative, but the constant is I'm still learning, because it will shape me as I keep.
As you go. I love that. I love that so much. And I wish that people could come to that understanding, because people can get stuck in mistakes and failures. And trust me, I've had my own dosage of it, but look, we keep moving. Would you mind giving me a context of one of those regrets that you have, that you still maybe carry in some way with you?
So, you knew me growing up, now you knew the kind of family that I'm in and every kind of thing and all that jazz. But like, I was telling you the other day, I said I've not had a conversation with my dad since 2010-ish. So this year makes it 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's crazy because I used to grow up, most people did not know, I used to grow up and I hated my dad. I know everybody used to see us as, and you know that thing where they say that somebody might be smiling, somebody might be happy, somebody might be playful, but they are depressed, but you don't know that they are dealing with
pain.
So all the time when I was growing up, I hated my dad. But people will see me in church, or you see me, I'll come to people's house, I'm very excited, but I didn't like him, right? And for the longest part of my life, it was hatred. I'm telling you hatred because it's not dislike. You know, they say hate is a very strong emotion, and I know that I felt that emotion. Like if they said something happened to him, I wouldn't feel any, do you understand? I won't feel some type of way. I'll just shrug and keep it moving. That's how I felt. But I feel like I'm at the point now where I don't feel hate, I feel indifference. It's more of like because my mom, she used to tell me, my mom would just still call me and be like, Jeremiah, you can't keep, because my mom is trying to still, how do I say it now? She's trying to like keep the peace.
Yeah.
But maybe not really keep the peace, but more of like want me to move past how I feel.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like she's trying to invalidate my feelings or anything, but my mom believes that, over time you would let go of all these things. But because that thing was brewing and nobody really knew about it except me. Do you understand? And my regrets came from me being upset with my mom. So it wasn't like, I didn't like my dad. Yeah. But I sort of like used to blame my mom for me not liking my dad. Because I used to seem like, why was my mom with this guy? Do you get? Because if my mom was not with this person, I wouldn't be feeling this emotion that I'm feeling. I knew that I'm feeling this emotion towards this person, but it now became a thing of I was trying to now pass the blame to other people indirectly. You being with this person means that I have to deal with this
person.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so I had to grow up as a result of that. Like I had to be an adult really quick, because I left my home at 24. Like I left the house. Like I'm not living in Jerrie anymore at 24. And it's just, I'm in a good place. Yeah. I don't have any beef with my mom. We are very close. Do you get? I feel like I've moved past that with her. Do you get? But again, I don't hate my dad anymore, but I'm indifferent. My mom is still trying to do all this, call him on his birthday. I'm not going to call him. I have to be honest with myself, right? I don't hate him. I don't feel that emotion anymore. But now I'm more of like, I'm just okay where I am, right? If he picks up his phone and calls me, I might pick up the call, right? But the thing is, I think my dad has pride and he's not going to call me. And I have pride. I mean, people say Leos are like that. I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay.
I have pride and I'm not going to call him. And my mom was saying something about me. I was saying like, so if you want to get married, isn't your dad? Are you not going to invite your dad? And I told my mom, I said, I'm going to do destination wedding. And I'll carry only you. And if you're interested in coming, because I just feel like he has not been in my life for so long. Now, it's not like, my dad lives in Lagos. Everybody stays in Lagos. But he has not been in my life like you people saw my family to be back then. So it just seemed like there was a period of time. It's been 15 years of not seeing each other. not talking to each other. So it's almost like it's at the point where, you once you get used to something for a long time, it becomes habit, it becomes normal. You get now, it's not, if it doesn't, I'm okay. I talk to my mom every other day. I still called my mom yesterday. Like, we have conversations, but that's because my mom has we've been consistent in each other's lives for that period. She comes to see me. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but he has not been there in so many ups and downs that I've had to go through as the firstborn. Do you get? And when I said I had to adult very early, like, one of the regrets I have is that I didn't get to enjoy my 20s like every one of you guys did. And it's the truth. Because your 20s is the time when you're just living that old teenage, you're the exuberance of being a teenager, when you're just going to, now your parents cannot really talk to you anyhow because you're no longer 18. Now you start claiming, I'm an adult, I'm 21. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm 22. And then all of those things, I did not get to experience them the way everybody did, the way everybody go to clubs, or the way everybody drinks alcohol. Like, I'm in my 30s, I don't drink alcohol. I've only gone to the club once in my life.
No.
Only once. And the one time, it was a friend that she cajoled me into taking me there. Because she's like, how can you have never gone to the club? Like, so I didn't get to experience those things. I didn't get to experience having all those relationships, all those young relationship people I used to have when you were in your 20s and all those things. I didn't get to experience because I had to start doing adult stuff.
Very, very fast. Very,
very fast. Do you understand? So I regret that because it just looks like I missed out on almost a decade of fun. And now, when you've moved into your 30s, your mentality is no longer that. You're not thinking about too many other things. You're not thinking about what is going to happen as you're moving into your 40s, as you're moving. The shift has changed.
Yeah.
Because usually when we have fun in our 20s and we get to our 30s now we are not thinking about life as like, that's when we used to accept that we are proper adults. Do you get? Because that's when you start thinking, oh no, I have bills I have to pay. I have to do all these things. Yeah. That's when you start thinking as an adult. But I've been doing that
since you're
20. So that's one of the regrets I have about not being able to really see what my 20s would have been like if I didn't have to worry about certain things.
Are you okay to share the reason for your hate towards your dad?
So, you know how we used to say that, or how our parents used to believe that they had to be strict. And I completely understand you wanting to be strict with your parents. But I used to feel like I was not doing enough. Now, let me explain to you what that means. So, when I was young, I used to believe that I took my brains from my mom, in the sense that I liked book, I liked reading, I was a bookworm and all that jazz. Do you get what I mean? And there was this friend of mine, Ayo, in school then. We used to compete, right? And when I mean like we used to compete in the sense that we're the top two students in school. So it was a constant thing between first and second or first and you get that kind of rivalry. But we're friends, but we had this healthy rivalry. And it used to feel like there was nothing I did as a firstborn that was good enough for him.
Okay.
Now, because I was already the firstborn, this is like news flash. I took a brunt of most of the, how can I say it now? If we say it now, it might sound like it was physical abuse. What I mean by physical abuse is like, I'm not talking about in like a sexual term, but physical abuse where you get to be constantly hit or all that jazz. Do you get? And this kind of thing used to hide under the guise of spread the word, spoil the child. Our parents used to say that shit a lot, right? And I hate it. I hate that statement because the part of the Bible also says parents should not bring their children to wrath. Like there's a way the parents also have to not get their kids. But it's just like our parents used to ignore that part and just stick to that spirit.
Selective.
Yeah, it's like selective discipline.
Yeah.
But there's more to it. And then growing up, I used to have to deal with that. And because my mom was more of a career woman, she was not always around. So I'm the firstborn. I have to deal with most of the situations that might be going on. You get that kind of jazz. And I try to keep it under, how do I say it? I try not to say anything. Because you're a boy, you're expected to hold all of these things and all that jazz. And I used to have, and I have siblings. You get you, like, I mean, you know my siblings. So everybody's like, always like, they cannot really take those things. I have to be the one to take it. I have to want to deal with all of that. And when I talk about this physical abuse thing, it was not a thing of like, it was just there. It was a constant, any small thing, right? And then there was one day that I said I had enough of it. I can't remember what happened that day, but I remember that I came. It was in the house. He tried to hit me, but he tried to hit me with like a stick or something like that, and I held. You know, like do you have this? Your parents are like, I'm trying to flog you. You're growing wings kind of situation, and I held it, and I broke it.
How old were you at this time?
I can't remember, but it was before. Let's say I was about maybe 13.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe like 13.
So you held it.
So I held it and I broke it. And there was this shock of like, you broke the thing. And then I ran out of the house after I broke it. But as I ran out of I have a scar on my chest here. So as I ran out of the house, you know, when you try and open the gate to your house, you unhook and pull this and then you pull the gate. So this was the gate of the building.
I remember.
So
it was brown.
As I raised it and I opened it, as I tried to pull this, the stuff here had not completely gone. So as I pulled it with force, the thing just went in my chest. But I didn't even know that I was injured because now there was adrenaline. I was trying to just get out. And I stayed and I was on the street till my mom came back at night. I think that was the first time my mom really knew what was going on. Yeah. So because I went back into the house and nothing happened. So I feel like maybe they had the whole conversation about it. She goes, my mom was like, what I was doing outside barefooted. She get at night. Because I didn't go back inside. And then she saw the injury and she was like, what happened? I just give her a minute. And then that's how she knew that something was going on. And this is my mom that when we leave school, the driver will come and pick us from school, take us to our office for lunch. So she didn't really, and they take us from lunch back home. So because she was she made sure that she took care of us, that we were very comfortable, but at the same time, work. Yeah. And I feel like maybe that's the reason why a part of me felt like I had to blame her because she was not there.
I understand.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so, things happened. Or like when I wanted to go into school, my father wanted me to be a soldier.
Where's what?
He wanted me to be a soldier. Like, that somebody is learned. I'll come home from school, maybe I took second position, and I will have the most verbal abuse. And like it like becomes a thing where you start thinking, I'm not going to lie, because this part affected me, even when I got to uni, because I didn't now care for reading, because I was like, what's the point? Do you get? Because it became a thing of like, even when you've done good, your good was not enough kind of thing. And then we had that whole situation, and I collected a little beating. Like, I'm not even joking. But there was a situation that happened that made me decide that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. The period where I was studying, I got into coma and all that. So I was coming from uni, we just finished exams. So I was going home, and then I started feeling cold. Like, I knew that I was ill because I had a lot of sleepless nights trying to read and all that jazz. But after the exam, I knew that I was sick, and I was going home, and I got home, and there was this nonchalant reaction towards, if your child comes home and your child is sick, I don't know, maybe he was explaining that you can take care of, that kind of thing, you can take care of yourself, like low paracetamol, all this kind of thing. I don't think that applies. Once your child is sick, regardless of the age, you have to be concerned. It's sickness. because you don't. So the matter is, you don't even know what that sickness is. It can be as basic as a fever or something, but you don't know. And there was this nonchalant reaction towards it. Do you get? And I got worse. And he took me to. He started to take me to an hospital or something. He took me. He had a friend that was a nurse, and just that kind of thing. Do you get? And the woman came and then she gave me drip, and this very. It didn't. It's not what you would do when somebody is sick. You expect to take them to the hospital, you get a proper medical checkup, you do blood work. Do you know what I'm saying? But all this thing where it comes like you are just only malaria. You understand that it was like there was a nonchalant behavior towards that. And I remember the last thing I remember was the last food I ate was amala, and I was vomiting that. So I vomited, and the last memory I had was that I vomited. Only for me to wake up on hospital bed and I was died.
You almost died.
Yeah. My grandma came to Lagos from Ekiti when she heard.
When you told me you went into coma and I was still shocked, I thought it was maybe from an accident.
No.
So it was just because you were
sick. I was just sick.
And you were not properly attended
Yes,
to.
and that was it. And I went to coma. I went to coma for about 2 weeks. And when I woke up from coma, I couldn't walk. So I had to learn how to walk again. In fact, even when I started learning how to walk again, I couldn't. If I'm walking in this space, I would be close to the wall because I would need to rest on the wall so I don't fall. Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then those things were just. I stopped talking to him after that period because.
How old were you at the time?
I was 20.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
The truth is, because when we started becoming teenagers, because all of us now started going to school, different schools, so we couldn't really keep up. Yeah. Do you get with how we were when we all? I couldn't really talk. I didn't even know what was going on with you anymore. Yeah. Do you get? So I didn't even have someone that I could talk to another jazz. So it just feel like I was, and I've always been an introvert because I don't. So most of the things were internalized. Yeah. There was not anybody that you just go and gist or you talk to or something. It's not that the world is more open to like mental health and even kids can be going through stuff and all these kind of things. But like then, you take it.
I know, but I just feel like no one should go through that. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. To even think that I know you and we were really best friends when we were like younger and all, it's sad. And I'm coming to learn in very recent times that most men, the biggest fear that most men have is inadequacy. And the easy thing for them is for their ego to project that on the weakest person, which is mostly, in most cases, in cases of marriage, is the woman. And in my head, I'm thinking about what could really be happening behind the scenes of what was happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in this case, your mom was not even the weaker vessel because she was always at work. From what I know, your dad was a pastor. I think he was a full-time pastor. Yep. So it wasn't like he had any other income other than ministry. Yeah. And I don't think that's a lot of money. So in my head, I'm like, I can literally see what's going on. There was an ego bruise with not being able to afford things. The woman was the one doing, and their time, they have a different mindset and different understanding that the man has to do this and do that. Yeah. And unfortunately, your mom was a career woman who was never around for him to vent all that ego and anger on. And the next available person
was
you.
I said I took the brunt of the whole thing. I took the brunt of the whole thing for years. Like, I'm not joking. Like, you go to school, you do everything, you do all that, and
because I'm just like, if I had known someone was hitting you because of the fact that you're coming second in school, that doesn't make sense. You're like one of the most brilliant person I know. It was a very difficult position to be in. And when I say that the emotion is like a seed now, it just keep growing, it just keep growing. Like, it got to the point where I used to tell my mom that I didn't want to hear his name. Like, it got to that point where I don't want to talk about it.
My mom would tell me, oh, and the thing about me is, I remember everybody's birthdays or like, I remember everything. But for some reason, for ease, I'm now blank. Like it's a thing of where I'm now actively trying to erase, where you're constantly trying to erase any sort of thing that reminds you of this person. It was very difficult.
When you became indifferent about him, because I know what you mean. I've had daddy issues too growing up, and because I had to live with my guardian because of my parents and daddy issues and all of that. So trust me, I can relate.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in my early 20s, from my teenage to my early 20s, it was always that I was just angry with him, angry about him. Like I didn't want to hear anything about it. And then I then went to indifference. And I've shifted into a completely different one now, which is not something I'll talk about. But what did that indifference do to you?
So the point of me, when we first started talking, I was like, oh, how you think about stuff and then you just start thinking about it like you have instead of you worrying about stuff, you're now calm. What I realized over the period of me trying to adult is that it now felt like I started channeling my own anger now to my siblings. Now, it's not like I used to hit my siblings, but I used to be any small thing I'm upset, right? Any little inconvenience, I'm very angry. Do you know what I mean? So, and to an extent, it has sort of, and this is one of the regrets I have. My siblings don't relate to me like a sibling. They relate to me like a daddy, in quotes. Now, I can understand your siblings having respect for you as the elderly one, right? But you would still want them to have some sort of relationship where they can talk to you like you're their brother. It's very difficult for me because Joshua is 25. Joshua is the last one, is 25. But Joshua does not relate to me like I'm his brother because it's almost like they cannot come to terms of relating to me like I'm their brother. They see me more like higher than that. And it's not something that I like, but it's not something that I can help. Do you get what I mean? Because it's so bad that if they need something from me, they cannot even come, they cannot pick up their phone and take and say, Brother Jerry, I need this thing. They'll call my mom. Like our mom. Then my mom will now come. It's like a whole long, and it's a very unsettling thing for me. Because everybody wants to have some sort of relationship with your siblings where your siblings are, you can rapport, you can chicken, they can come to you about anything, they can come to. For instance, now if Joshua wants, say, he wants to change his phone, he can call my mom. I'm like, oh, Mom, I want to change my phone. Let me tell Brother Jerry. It's something that Joshua should be able to text me. Like, Brother Jerry, my phone is bad, or I want to change my phone. I want you to buy a new phone. But he cannot do it because it's more of like, let's go and ask our mommy. Then our mommy will ask Brother Jerry for the rent to buy me a phone. And I don't like it. Do you get it? And that's why a part of me doesn't like it when they call me brother.
I know.
Somehow, I wish my siblings could call me by name. And this is not because of people used to say, oh, you have to add respect and all that. And that's not, people can call you by brother and disrespect you. Like,
tell me.
Do you get what I'm saying?
The same thing.
Do you get, they can disrespect you even they call you brother. Yeah. Do you get? But like, you can be a bit more comfortable. My sister Ini has gotten to that point where she doesn't call me. She still can't bring herself to call me by my name. So she just calls me by nickname. So when she calls me, she just says Mali. Because she can't bring herself to call me by my name, but she knows that I would prefer her to call me by herself brother. Do you get? When she's talking on like the family group, she still says brother. She says Brother Jerry, something, Brother Jerry. Do you get? But when she's talking to me, she calls me Mali. And she talks to me about, she's the one that I think has gotten to the point where she can talk to me about anything now. She can talk to me about boy issues, she can talk to me about work, she can talk to me about it. She has gotten to that point. And she's the only one that I've been able to get to be able to be comfortable enough to address me as a sibling. She still sees me. My sister sends me Happy Father's Day. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they still have that mentality of this guy playing that role. Yeah. Because they couldn't really talk to my dad. I was the one that had to start being the mediator, sort of like the person in the middle. Yeah. So on Father's Day, they still text me Happy Father's Day. They still tell me thank you for being. Do you understand? But and I know that it's coming from a place of gratitude and everything, but it makes me feel regret because I didn't get to experience all those sibling rivalry, as the case may be. Yeah. John, I'm 1 year older than John. But John talks to me. It's not like John talks to me like I'm his dad, but the respect is too much. I don't know how to say it. Like, the respect is too heavy for me. The way he talks to me.
So you don't even have the leeway to enjoy
someone that I'm 1 year older than him. 1 year and 2 months. We can't even sit down and have fun. What's going on? You know how you would gist with someone that you can count as your age mates. Yeah. But the respect that he accords me is too heavy. Yeah. And I'm almost telling myself, like, I don't need this. But I can't do anything about it because that is what life has brought them to now, the kind of respect they give me. Got it. You get. Yeah. And now they want to have conversation with me, they have to talk to my mom. They have to have conversation, they have to talk to my mom. My mom, help us ask about Jerrie. It now gets to the point now, I now have to be the one to, like, maybe I want to get Joshua something. I'm like, Joshua, come to the house. I have something for you. You get. And he'll come. But like, even when he comes, it's always very quiet. If your sibling comes to your house, I'm going to my brother's house. They are very, they're supposed to be very chirpy. They're supposed to be very. But Joshua will come to my house and he'll just sit down on the chair. Like this. And he wants to do stuff. He can't do stuff.
He's not comfortable enough.
Yeah, he's not comfortable enough to do stuff just because. I mean, my brother's house, let me go to the kitchen. Let me see what's in the fridge. You get? They can't do that. Because now it's almost like a thing of like, you need permission to.
Yeah.
Do you get that thing?
100%.
And it's just.
So for me, and I just want to be able to explain to you, because I also have the same relationship with my siblings. And I grew up with my aunt and my aunt's kids. So I'm closer with my aunt's kids than my actual siblings. And that didn't make sense for the longest time. Because I was also dealing with the fact that daddy issues, because I also lived with my parents for a bit and I saw the whole abuse and all of that. Yeah. I also experienced it. And I experienced it even younger. So it stayed as a mountain inside of you. There is no way. It would always stay. And it was when I started to do like my own healing and then coming into, because I also, this whole thing, the reason I'm crying is because I'm on the same spectrum with you. And it's so funny how we've had the same journey, even though we've been like apart. And the last time I was in Nigeria, before now, I saw my sister. And, it was just weird between us, type of thing. And again, the same thing. She literally told me the last time, like, I hated you. Because I started to because I've been able to do my own, like, internal work of healing and removing all those parts of me that was filled with anger and all of that. And I started to like talk to her even gently and then hear her, what she has to say, what she's feeling. And then she told me like, I hated you for the longest time. I hated you, I hated daddy, I hated everyone. And even you that I felt like you are my sibling, I can't even talk to you. But, I had to also realize that I was dealing with my own shit as well. Yeah. I was also a child like you were. Even though I'm the first child, even though I had to live with other people and all of that, like, there was all of those things going on in my head that I didn't even know what to make of it. I had to also like, I enjoyed my 20s as much as I could. I was doing all that, but I still enjoyed my 20s to a good extent. But I had to start telling her and explaining to her. And it wasn't until this time that before I came, months before, I started making sure that I had a conversation with her every week. Now, with my brother, we haven't even gotten there. Just like you and Joshua, we haven't even gotten there. I'm just like, baby steps. And I'll talk to her like every week to know what's going with her, how she's doing, boys, work, and all of that. So much that she's now so free So before, the first time when she came, she was also the very, I don't know, let me behave myself. But the second time, I'm just like, okay, now I'm regretting you being this close to me because you're just all over the place. But I realized that it was because I had to begin to do my own healing and that's why I asked, like, what did the indifference do to you? Because I started out as being very angry for years. And then when I realized that this anger was not going to go anywhere, my mom that I was mad at for being with this person is not even going to take that much responsibility because that's what she's all she's known. My dad is not, do you get? And I had to begin to now sit down with the anger with myself. And it was like I just sat down with my own monsters and know that passing the buck of the blame isn't doing anything. And even being indifferent is good, but it's only good for a very short period of time. In the long run, I'm going to be a mother. I don't want to take this into being a mother. And I started to like parent myself. If my parents didn't do the job they were supposed to do, I will need to be a parent to another person at some point in time. And I can only begin with myself first. And then because I've done that, now I have a better relationship with my sister. I'm taking her out. Like before I came to Nigeria, I called her. She spent 2 weeks with me. We went out. My pocket head went. But I was so happy to do all of that for her because nobody did it for me. Do you see? So the work at the end of the day is still us first.
Yep.
And it leads me to my next question when I asked you that, how have you been lately? And you said, I'm in a better place. My mental health is better. Tell me what changed and maybe if you did anything to get there.
So you see how they used to say that time
heals.
Yeah. The truth is it does. What you should not think about is how long. But the truth is, I feel like it. And the thing is, it might not completely heal you, but you still have those scars. But you will be able to live with those scars. And like, they won't you not accept those scars as part of you. It's not like they will shape you. It's like when you get injured and you have a scar, it will heal. It won't pain you. The scar will be there, it won't pain you, but that scar is there. Sort of like a reminder of like, I went through this. And what that indifference did for me was, because I realized that I was carrying so much of that anger, I was trying to, and I was doing transfer of aggression, right? It was just one of those days when I just realized that I'm taking up responsibilities now, right? I'm trying to, these people are looking up to me now, yeah? And I can't be doing the same thing that I was receiving to these people. She gets. And it became a situation where my indifference became a thing of, this person is what I do not want to be.
And you're becoming that somehow.
So it was a thing of, this is the model. This is how this person is. This is what I've experienced.
This is what your mind
My
is.
goal now is to be the complete opposite. Okay. So if I'm trying to be the complete opposite of this person, I have to let go of whatever emotions this person is giving me.
That's so good.
Right? So instead of me feeling hatred toward this person, this hatred will make me be upset, make me be in a mood. And that mood by default is what I'll transfer to these people.
And you're now becoming that person.
And I'm becoming the same thing to these people. And I don't want these people to have the experience that I've had. So the only way I can do that is to make sure when I'm looking at this person, whatever I'm doing, I hope it's not in alignment with this person. So first and first, I have to remove that hatred. Hatred takes a long time to go off. It takes a lot. But I have to constantly work. Sometimes, and I can't say sometimes I don't still get upset. But now it's not an upset as a trigger of what that person is doing to me. It's not an obsession. I'm being upset about whatever it is this person is. I'm dealing with this person now. Right? As opposed to it being something I've already kept and I'm just giving this person bits and pieces. So the indifference to me was like an emotion that I needed to. So not its transition of hate to love. Because you've not given me any reasons to go to love.
That is so good.
Do you understand? So
people always do this whole, forgive and forget.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
it's not a situation where I have to transition from hating you to loving you.
Yeah,
I have to find the middle ground where I can stay in and I'm safe from this thing, and I don't have to let that affect. So it was more like I had to filter whatever it is. So indifference was the emotion I had to pick to filter whatever I was experiencing to be able to transfer something else into. So what indifference has done for me over the couple of years now is that I have been able to focus more without really thinking about whatever has been going on in my past. So it's like whatever I've had in my past is there, right? I'm trying to be a better person for myself. I'm trying to be a better person for my siblings. I'm trying to be a better person to my mom. But I can't allow that. Indifference is like the filter that has helped me just shelf whatever emotions, whatever feeling, whatever outrage I have, and just focus on this. And when I tell you that I've been in it, that indifference is what I've been at even till now. It's because it's more like I don't care. It's like you can't influence me now.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do
it's gonna change.
Is going to change where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right? You have no role in how I feel. You have no role in my emotions. Whatever emotions I'm feeling has nothing to do with you. So indifference has made me like, I don't care. Right? And it's not like, and it's crazy because I have a cousin, right, from my dad's side, who tried to be a mediator in recent times. And I told the cousin, I said, I'm not going to listen to you. You didn't experience what I experienced, right? You didn't know what I felt. You didn't know what me I had to go through. You that you were in, that all the things that you were dealing with in your own family, you didn't know what's going on with me. Now, you've had a conversation with my dad on the side. You've had it, before you came to meet me, you've had a conversation. You've had this POV. I don't know what his POV is, I don't care. Right? But you are coming to me with the, let's sit down to talk. First of all, I'm too busy. I can't sit down to talk about that. The truth of the matter is one core issue that I have, which is one of the reasons why I've decided I'm okay with everybody being on their different ways. It's very easy. When you come into this world, you come to this world alone. Right? The journey is very simple. You come to this world alone, you grow up, you meet someone, you fall in love, you go through all the emotions, you decide to have children. You bring the children into the world. Right? First off, you have new obligations. You have to set up that person to be able to live what you've lived. Once you bring your child into the world, and I understand our parents want it to be all involved with how your life is. I get it. I tell my mom sometimes when we sit down and have conversations, I say, I get it where parents are trying to impose on children. I understand because yes, we know you are trying to let the child grow, you are trying to let the child get to the point where they can be on their own, right? But when it gets to the point where you start neglecting who you are supposed to take care of as a result of whatever issues you are going through, that becomes an issue for me. Because it's your obligation. Regardless of whatever it is that is going on in your life, you are obligated to that child until that child is old enough. And old enough is not 18. Old enough for that child to be able to comfortably make solid decisions. Right? Because you got to the point where you could make decisions. So you have to help that child. So if life is lifing, I get it. Right? But you're obligated to those people. So when you start neglecting those obligations for whatever reason, pride, whatever it is that is going on with you, that becomes the issue for me. Because basically what my dad did is let me take his obligations when I'm supposed to be learning from him. So basically I had to do what he was supposed to do. I was doing what he's supposed to do. So I couldn't get a chance. So I couldn't even afford to make certain mistakes. You could afford to make certain mistakes in your 20s. You can afford, but I couldn't afford to do that. So I started being an adult.
Yeah.
And like, I have beef in that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie. I have beef in that. I have particular beef about that. Not like I don't have beef about other things, but I have beef about that. Whatever issues we're having, maybe you're having, you saw you talked about him being a pastor or my mom being, whatever, if you had beef there, it shouldn't spill over to me.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Do you get? It shouldn't spill over to me.
Yeah.
Do you get? So now, when I say this thing has affected my own life, it has gone to the point where I can't even do certain things for myself because I want to make sure that my own siblings are at the point where they can make those decisions for themselves. Because I will start feeling like I'm neglecting them. I know people always say you should choose yourself. I have a lot of friends who have told me you can be selfish, but I can't. They will tell me, oh, Jeremiah, sometimes I will talk to my friends about something and they'll be like, sometimes you can tell your family to relax. But people don't understand the context of what I had to do growing up. They will tell you sometimes, they'll be like, you can just tell them you want to do this thing, or they should. And you know what's funny? There are days when I would say it. Let me give you an example. You can come and tell me, when I tell something, I'm like, what do you mean by that? I don't have that. I can't. Go and meet your mother. Do you get?
I'm great with it.
But tomorrow, I will send you whatever it is. Because I will be feeling guilty that I'm neglecting you.
Yeah, because you were neglected and you know what it's like to be neglected.
Yes. So I can still tell you, go and meet your mom, I'll go and do this, I'll go and do that, but I will not be at peace. Right? And so that's where having to do the things that another person is supposed to be doing is what I'm doing.
Let me ask you a question. And that's a question that actually I've been coming into like a realization of, which is, it's centered around what you just said. There's a good and bad side to everything.
Oh, yes.
And in the case where you had the type of father that you had, in as much as there was a bad side to it, what is the good side of it? One. Two, I asked because, number one, it was here, because I realized that about me. And to say, in as much as this messed with me for the longest time, and this was the bad thing, the good part of it was that it actually made me a very quick learner, swift person, do things and succeed at it very quickly. Like, I felt like I needed to prove that I was worthy, even though my father was never around. Do you get? And in as much as it was a bad thing, it also morphed me into something else. And I want to know your take on it, number one. Number two, there's also where I had to stop enabling other people in the way where I'm just like, I don't want them to feel neglected. But I felt I had to come to a point where I had to start saying that I'm enabling, because they would never get to become their own person if I always have to be there. The reason I have become who I have become today is because these people were never there. Do you get? So what are like the contrast of it for you?
So for me, I feel like the good thing in all of this is that when you subconsciously try to be the opposite of something, when you put your mind to that, I want to be the opposite of this thing, you will be so conscious of whatever things you are doing here that is contrary to this. And I feel like, and this is not to say, I don't think my dad does not have good sides. This is not to say that. The truth of the matter is, because I've done so much to try and erase a lot of memory, I don't think I can even remember any good thing. I'm being honest, right? But I know there are certain attributes that I have now that are embedded in me that are as a result of me not wanting to be like that. Do you get? Because now I'm a bit more involved in my vulnerability. I'm very expressive.
First of all, well done on that. That's literally when we spoke, and I saw her, and I was like, And I'm trying to remember if this is the way you were when we were younger. I'm like, yeah, he did have it in him, but it's so much more funny. I'm like, I definitely have to bring him to talk.
Yeah, so like, I'm a lot more involved in my vulnerability.
Well done on that.
I'm very expressive. I like to communicate. I like to communicate a lot. Do you get? Because I believe that communication helps solve half of whatever problems people have.
I agree.
So I communicate a lot. I'm in touch with my femininity as a because I don't, all this toxic masculinity. I'm not about that.
Yeah,
Do you get? I like to be a bit more, and there are so many things. I try not to be angry. I try to be slow to anger. I try to make sure that things don't get to me as much. Do you get? I feel like those are good parts because there are things that help me be the kind of person that I am.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I know that I still have things that I'm working on. The positive is that by trying not to be somebody else or trying to be the model aligned to somebody else, I've found myself in a place that I like, that I believe that makes me a good friend, that makes people want to talk to me, that makes people want to, I'm going to stop, let me call Jeremiah. I have friends that come by 1 a.m. because they want to talk. Because they know that I would give myself to them to be able to listen to. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the good thing for me because I don't have a lot of friends. Even till now, I'm picky. I'm picky about anything. But the people that they know that I'm in their life, they know that I will be there for them. Do you get that kind of thing? And I feel like that is one good thing that has happened. I might not have, the issue of the matter is, I might not have these principles if my life was great.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying about things can happen, but like, you can just take it as, why worry about it?
Yeah.
Do you get? So like, my life might not be this way. I might be a diva. If I had I might be very sassy. Do you understand what I'm saying? I might be all that.
Yeah.
But what that thing has happened, the good thing is like, it has made me become this part of myself that I like. And in relation to enabling things, I feel like a part of me still feels like I am responsible for them. And I know that's one of the issues that I'm dealing with, but I find it very hard to say no when it comes to stuff relating to my family. It's not like I cannot say no, but I can only say no for a period of time. I will start feeling like, it start eating me up. Yeah. Do you get? And sometimes I say I don't have, or I cannot do this for you, or I might be able to do it. I'm still trying to learn to say no and stick to saying no. Yeah. But I can't lie, it's a bit difficult.
I know.
It's a bit difficult because I still, and now it's becoming a thing of, so what I now do is like, I just tell them that don't come and meet me for impromptu situations. I'm not going to listen to you. So it's better off if you give me heads up. So if you need something, say in March, just tell me now. Right? So I just know that, okay, I'm supposed to do something for this boy in March. Because it just stays. As opposed to you coming to meet me.
Very quickly.
I don't know how to do all that because you don't know. I have what I'm also trying. You see, what's funny about it is, as much as I'm trying to do all this, I'm also still trying to better myself. But I'm also trying to do things for myself, do things for me. So if I'm trying to do things for me, and it's so crazy because I have had to not do things for me because I had to do things for other people.
Okay.
There are times when I want to do something, I have plans for something I want to do for myself, and something comes up. I'll just now sacrifice my own. I'll do things for people at the detriment of myself.
Yeah. And
it's difficult to switch, but I'm learning to do that. So this enabling thing is still a work in progress. Like I can't say I'm perfect.
I think you should work on it more.
Yes,
not for the fact that you are not trying to be selfish. Yeah. Like let your motivation not be, oh, I want to do something for myself. Let your motivation be, they need to be able to do for themselves as well.
Yeah.
I feel like people read other people of the capacity that they have within themselves. So many people would never know the capacities they have within themselves because they are always having to have other people help them, give to them, enable them. And for me, I had to find the balance and stand on it. It wasn't easy at the very beginning, trust me, even up until now. Like I was saying to someone the other day, like, even when I say no, I'm going to do a whole long text of telling you why I said no. Now I'm having to say, you know what, my no is no. The fact that I sent you no alone, my chest is pricking me, even though you're in mind, you're thinking like, oh, you're wicked. I'm like, no, my chest is actually like not easy, but I have to learn it because you also have to come into your own because I had to come into my own. What are your feelings towards your mom for giving you that person as a father?
So what I realized is that you can't really blame people for who they choose, you know? People choose people for different reasons. We've had, and because of my own experiences, the heart just does what it wants, especially when it comes to people. You can have, and it's so funny because you can have principles like, I cannot be with this person.
Everything goes down the drain.
You have to have this, but once you
love is a thing sometimes.
So, and you know, there's a bit of traditional attachment. Now, I was telling you that I said now women are a bit more firm in what they want and what they don't want. Before, it didn't used to be like that. They will start thinking about many things, thinking about the child, thinking about the family, thinking about what people will say. Then what people will say is to be very strong, though.
Yeah, I know.
What people would say was very important. But now people don't give a rat's ass about whatever you say. Okay, it doesn't affect me. Look on me. That is where people are now.
Yeah.
But then, that's why when I used to be upset with my mom about this selection, I was like, why did you do every other thing? Like I used to look at my mom. I used to look at my mom and I used to say, you were too good for this person. It's the truth. We've had conversations and I've told her. I said, my own personal opinion is that you were too good for this person. And I feel like in modern day, like today, it would be a case of settling. But then, back in those days, there was nothing like settling. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most people were very concerned about starting a family, having kids. That was how it was. There was nothing about settling. There was nothing about... You can't settle. I don't know how to say, but then there was no conversation about, oh, deserve, but what you will deserve, but what happened? It was not a conversation. Once somebody likes you, you like the person, straight up. Next thing you have married, next thing you have kids, next thing you are moved. That's how it was. And so I started to realize that the time then and the time now are different things. Like I told you, I have liberal conversations with my mom. It has gone to that point where I've had to help her unlearn and relearn certain things. Again, I cannot completely take out the whole traditional part because it's embedded in them. Bro, these people are in their old age. It's embedded.
It's the biggest battle with my mom.
Where are they losing battle? Like you lost the battle.
I literally had to tell myself one day to say, because every time we're always having to fight with my mom. I had to say to myself to say, we have different beliefs. I'm not fighting this woman. My beliefs are fighting against her beliefs.
Yes.
And beliefs are the most
standard thing. I promise you, it's a lost battle. You can't do anything.
Like I had to have that conversation with myself. Say, this is a lost battle.
You can't do anything.
I'm done.
And so I just had to come to the realization that okay, it's now. If it was now, she probably would be in that situation. But then it didn't go. And I just had to tell myself that it is what their era was about. This era now is a lot more different. So
I love it.
And she's my guy, so like there's only so much beef you can. I didn't have any. She didn't hurt me. I was passing blame to her because I was passing blame to everybody that got me to be feeling the way I was feeling. I know there was a main source, but then why that main source is here is because you are involved with that main source. So I'm blaming you by association. Do you get that kind of thing? So that's how it was. Well, I've gotten to that point with her where I can say, she's my guy. Like we can have all these normal squabbles, but like it's not anything serious. And I never really had beef with her because the truth of the matter is she made my childhood. Do you get? She was what made me have fun. She was a career woman, but I still had fun when I had to have fun. But she was not. The issue I had was that she was not there. And it's so funny because now I've gotten to the point in my life where I used to tell people that I'm okay even getting married to a career woman. Now maybe that is a situation I can attribute it to the situation I had growing up where I didn't really have that attention from. So I can believe that if my partner is a career woman, I'm cool. I know for a fact that I'm going to be a house husband. Not like house husband that I won't work or something.
Of course
but
not.
I would be in the house.
Yeah.
I would be involved in my kids' lives.
Yeah.
I will be hands-on.
Yeah.
If my partner is not around, I'm comfortable because I did it.
Yeah.
So
And you still do
and
it.
I still do it.
Yeah.
So I already know that, and the work I do means that I don't get to be outside every other day. So I have to be there.
Got it.
So it's more of a thing of like, it's when life has moved me to, I'm moving in that line. If my partner is a career woman, by all means, and make all the money you can make. It's like, I hold it down.
Yeah.
Because that is what I've been doing anyway.
Yeah.
And if my partner is someone that stays at home, the better for everybody as well. You get so.
I love it. I love it.
I'm great with my mom, child. Like we're very,
Your mom has
very,
always
very
been
good.
like good people.
She's cool people.
She's
I can't even lie.
amazing.
She doesn't have
Like
issues.
I remember
don't
her
know.
as a child, like
She's cool people. I can't even lie.
I like the fact
She's
that
good
she
vibes.
always, she's always been good vibes. She always knows people's name because I was raised with my aunt.
Bro, my mom doesn't forget shit, man. One day I was going to.
Your mom always made me feel special. You know why? Like, you know why I say that? Because I lived with my aunt, and because when people get to know that I'm not my aunt's child,
Yeah.
there's a way they come to begin to treat me as inferior or less. But your mom never did that.
Oh no. She's great people. I can't even lie. Like, obviously, because I'm an adult now, she still gets on my nerves.
Fickle ways.
Yeah, but like, it's nothing to get carry over. Like, if I get to the point, she reports. She will be telling my students, if I go and report you to your brother,
That's a good idea.
yeah, do you get what I mean? So,
I used to be like that. I'm still like that with my brother because my brother is just in this phase where it's just being an absolute nuisance. But if my mom says that to my sister Tenny,
she just look like yeah, because you have been able to
bridge that and all of that. It's been amazing. How do you think your siblings are going through this phase of the feeling you have towards your dad? Because I'm very certain they have theirs as well.
So, I think maybe only two people, maybe me, myself and John, and maybe Tolu really experienced those things. Like they saw it.
Right.
Ini and Joshua did not. The only thing I knew and Joshua knew is that he was not really around. You get? But you know what's funny, yeah? He talks to Ini till today. He talks to Joshua.
They didn't see that part of him.
They didn't see it, so they say, it's not their experience. But they know that me and him, we don't agree. Like my siblings know. There are times when they are talking, because obviously your siblings will always talk behind your back. And when they're talking, Jerrie doesn't like daddy. So it's almost like they know that I have some sort of experience that I've not been able to share, but they know that something went down. That this guy has not talked. They know that I've not talked to him in 15 years. They know. But if I take out 15 years from their age, they were literally kids. Do you get what I mean? So like, they understand that there's something that is going down. But my siblings also know that for me to have made that decision, not to have a relationship, then it's valid. Whatever it is I'm doing, it's valid. My siblings are
wise enough.
They're wise enough. So they get it. And they don't try and bring it up with me.
I love it.
It's almost like, that is your situation.
Yeah.
We are not there.
Yeah.
That's your situation. We're not going to be involved. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to try and do anything to trigger it. Nothing. So.
Kudos to them for that, honestly. Kudos to them for that. Okay, I want to talk about your work.
Yeah, great.
Tell me about that. You're going to be 10 years this year.
Yep.
Ooh.
I'll be 10
I've seen
years
your
this
work
year.
before. I didn't even know it was you until Toby told me that this is your work. I'm like, wait. Because again, when I see something or with someone that I've known before, my mind just goes to like the roots. Or I'm like, I never really saw him.
I never really saw him myself. I never really saw him. Even me myself. I just think, as I was telling Jerrie, I just think it is what God has just said I would become. And the truth is, even when, when God says this is what you're going to do, sometimes you look at it like, the hell? How am I going to make money? How do I have the protection of a salary at the end of the month? How do I know this? How do I lose all these things. The economy is bad. See the way the economy is now. But I can't really complain. And that is what I've learned over the years, that if God tells you that if God blesses you, if God's hand is involved in whatever it is that you are doing, no matter how much of a problem there is, there would always be a solution. There would always be something that brings you out of it. I've been doing photography for 10 years. It's the only job I've done. It's my full-time job. Like, I don't do anything else. And I'm comfortable. I can be responsible. I can do my responsibilities. I can live comfortably. I can't say that I'm struggling. When I say I'm living comfortably. Like, I don't have any worries. Because the truth of the matter is, I always tell myself, if my work is not going well, all I have to do is just remind God, you are not that gave me this, this is not going well, and this was not the plan.
Yeah.
But you've put me here. I've been doing this for this long. So rectify whatever is going on here. And it's a situation when I talk to God about it, somehow things just get better.
Right.
Do you understand? And I've been doing it by the grace of God. And my portfolio is really good.
Yeah.
If you go through my website, you know what I'm talking about. Like,
Wait, first
my
of all,
portfolio is really good.
I don't even know what to say, but you are the Jerrie Rotimi now. You are the Jerrie Rotimi. Like, I feel like there are not a lot of photographers in Nigeria that captures the way you capture. Your work is clean.
You know what's so funny is that I didn't used to know how to respond when maybe clients reach out to me and tell me, oh, they are so satisfied. I didn't know how to respond. But I've got to that point where it's like, I know who I am now. Do you get that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And like, you saw I was telling you the other day, I don't do events, I don't do all these things. I just take portraits. I do a portrait, I do with branding, I do with commercial work. But like, it's like a niche now. So when people are looking for portrait photographers, they just know they are very selected few. People can go and talk to Jerrie. He's a portrait photographer. That's what I'm known for. I'm not known for weddings, I'm not known for events. And it's just because I decided to make that decision for myself.
What
I know that I'm lazy.
With all the responsibilities.
I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, but the thing is, my laziness is, when I say I'm lazy, is like, I cannot wake up by 6 a.m. to be leaving my house to go anywhere. Now, if you have to be a wedding photographer, you have to be up early. You have to be early because you have to go to the bride and groom. You have to go to, maybe you go to the bride, your assistant will go to the groom. You go to their hotels as early as 5. You have to take pictures of when they're doing makeup. You have to take pictures of their accessories. You have to take pictures of all those jazz, yeah? Then you follow them. You're not taking the picture. You don't have to wait until after party. I don't have the strength for that.
I really like that you understood yourself enough to know what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
And then owning on what it is.
Because I originally started as a fashion photographer.
Right.
I started as a fashion photographer in 2015. Then I was photographing my friend Folakemi. She was in Unilag, and she used to be a fashion blogger. Right. So I used to take pictures of her, street fashion. So when I started photographing, it would be street fashion. I take pictures of her in the street of Lagos, dressed in a fashion this thing. She'd post it, she'd do all of that. And then she posted it one time on her blog, and then his name is Siciano, Paulo. And then Paulo saw me on her blog, and they reached out to me that, oh, he wants to do fashion. In fact, Paulo was the first client that ever paid me. So funny. Then, 2015 or something? Maybe late 2015 to 2016. And then Paulo paid me. That was my first paid shoot. Fashion lookbook. Cannot forget. And then, one of Paulo's friends, name is Zah, reached out to me because he saw me do work for Paulo, and then did that. And then, in 2016, Vogue wanted to do something in Nigeria. If you check your website, it's called Lost in Color. That's the name of the project.
I saw it.
Vogue Italia Lost in Color.
Yeah.
And then they needed people to do the project. And then somebody had reached out to Paulo. And Paulo now pitched me. So my first big job was for Vogue. Italia.
Wait, you said that with your voice down. Say it.
No,
Say it up. My first big job was for
Vogue
Vogue Italian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I don't know if we used to do these things.
So Vogue Italian, then I was now known, for that. More fashion brands wanted to work with me. Then I did something for British Council, and
wow.
So I started doing that fashion. But then I'm not going to lie. I did not think that I was making enough money.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm not making enough money. Let me try and move into portraits, taking people. Now I'm not focusing on outfit. I'm focusing on the people themselves, right? And then I reached out to Zainab Balogun. She's an actress. And I reached out to Zainab, like, Zainab, what's up? I'd like to do a photo shoot for you. Pro bono. Just me. I'm just taking a picture of you. And I reached out to my friend Leila Cadney. She's a makeup artist. And I told Leila, I was like, Leila, if I want to do a project with Z, and Leila, she's fantastic. When I think about really talented people, she's in the Mount Rushmore of really talented makeup artists in Nigeria. She's that good. And then I reached out to her and she was down. And so we did the project on Zainab. And because Zainab is in the Nollywood section, by taking a picture, putting it out, she posted it out more, and I had to start working with more Nollywood people. Then I did stuff with Timini. Then I did stuff with Timini then. And then a friend, Chidera Moka, reached out through Guardian newspaper. So Guardian newspaper wanted to have a magazine. So Chidera reached out that, she wanted me to do stuff for Guardian. So doing stuff for Guardian completely made me transition from fashion into portrait, because now with Guardian I was focusing more on people. So then I started doing, then I photographed Cobams, then I photographed Tiwa Savage back then. But then I was still doing, while I was doing that, I still did a bit of pro bono. I shot Ice Prince once, then Ice Prince also paid me then. So then I started focusing more on people. Then I did Tiwa Savage, Shafi Bello then, Joke Silva, Femi Kuti. So Guardian exposed me to the industry.
Got it. That's cool.
Right. So I started doing that. While I was doing that, and I started also shooting everyday people. Just to make, because I was trying to transition more into portrait, I had to make sure that everyday people could feel like they could photograph with me.
Like a celebrity in portrait.
So I started to do that, and then I just stuck to portrait photography till today. And with portrait photography, and I started doing more ads, commercial, because commercial work is also portraits. When you are doing advertisements, you are shooting people. You get doing something. So that was just that. And then branding, maybe people want to rebrand, or maybe they've gotten a new post in the office. They want to take pictures to
what brands
announce that. So I've worked with Toshiba Germany. I've worked with Honeywell Group. I've worked with Coca-Cola. I've photographed at the Senate House. Like I've gone to work. I've gone to photograph a senator in the Senate office in Abuja. So I've worked a bit with the government. Yeah, my last really major photograph was the new CJN, the new Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that for me?
Yeah, the new CJN. Yeah.
Okay.
The new Chief Justice of Nigeria. Yeah. So, and I have to give a shout out. I'm not sure if you see this podcast, but I have to give a shout out to my lawyer and my friend Kike Ochewale. I feel like I owe her. Now I owe Tope Adenola. Tope Adenola was one that made my interest in photography really peak. Tope Adenola, and then Obi Somto. They're my friends, but like those people that sort of like mentored me properly. Then I owe Kike. I owe Kike. I feel like she's and this is not. I've said this to everybody that cares to listen. I feel like she's only, as I'm here this evening, she's the only person that can call me this evening that she wants to do something tomorrow morning, and I'll go.
I know.
Because she has she carries me on her head.
I know.
Do you get kind of thing?
Yeah.
She's an amazing woman. Her family is amazing. I photographed her. I photographed her kids. I photographed her husband. I photographed her grandma. She has. I feel like she's the. How do I say it? You see that situation where they say, when it was Esther now. It was Esther that Vashti was doing chakra for the king, and then Esther stepped in.
Yeah.
But Esther was only able to step in because somebody spoke on her behalf.
Uncle.
Yeah, you see in my life, Kika is that person that God put to speak on behalf of Esther. Because she's the person that has helped me. She has really opened.
So she's the Mordecai to your Esther.
Yes, basically.
I love it.
I would always be thankful for God for putting her in my life. She's an amazing person.
Thank you, Kike.
She's an amazing person. So yeah.
I was going to ask, what do you think has been paramount to your success internally and externally in 10 years of a career that very few people become successful at, especially in our country.
Yeah.
And you are one of the top successes or the top people who have succeeded at it. Like, there is no way someone says Jerrie Rotimi and we don't think about photography, portrait photography. I feel like you're the only portrait photographer I actually even know.
Oh, it's true that a lot of photographers. I mean, all these guys that I call like Tope, Somto, they're all portrait photographers.
Oh, okay. I don't know them.
Right. No, I get it, Chap.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like one thing that has been very consistent for me is what my motto is: living and learning. I constantly try and learn new stuff. Because the truth of the matter is, more photographers keep coming out. That's the truth. You have to stay relevant somehow. The only way you stay relevant is to constantly build yourself, teach yourself, build yourself, teach yourself. And I feel like that's one thing that's been very important. Also, building relationships with people. Because that thing where they used to say that people will speak for you where you are not there is as a result of those relationships that you've built. Yeah. That people will be able to say, oh, call Jerrie or talk to Jerrie, or people will be able to vouch for you because you have relationships with them. I think over the last 10 years, I've been able to build very good relationships, and I've been able to be consistent with my work. Because it's one thing for people to be able to vouch for you. It's another thing for you to be able to deliver
the quality.
So they have to go together. Somebody can vouch for you, but you also have to make sure that the person vouching for you has more reasons to continue doing that.
Yeah.
So you have to stay consistent. You have to, yeah.
That's good. I like it. If you were going to go back to your 23-year-old self when you started photography, what would you say?
What can I say? You know what's funny? When I went to photography, I was just going because I wanted to photograph stars.
Stars.
I just wanted to be seeing all the stars. That time when Top wanted to go for a shoot, I only followed Top because I knew he's shooting on Superstar today. Let me go and what's that thing? Let me go and be starstruck. That was it for me. I just wanted to be starstruck. Like I'm going, I'm just then I'll take selfie. So that I'll be like, I met this star now. You know when you're growing up, like you wanted to
I wasn't like that.
but I wanted to be associated with like I saw this person, I took this picture, but that was it. So I think what I'll just tell myself then is your trust in God should be absolutely solid. Because there were times when I started where I used to doubt that if this was the path for me. Because I remember one time when I told my grandma that I was taking pictures, oh, she cameraman. It didn't make any sense to them. Because they were expecting to maybe be a doctor or maybe an engineer.
Get a job or
something. Get a job. That was how it was. Do you understand? So, and there are times when maybe I won't get work and I'll just be like, God. Because there's no money. There's no money. Like you don't even know where your next paycheck is coming from, that kind of thing, and then you not be starting. I be checking call 195 call. She get, but like it was almost in that situation where I'll not be telling God no more, because my mom used to tell me that. So I think when I told my mom that I was going to get into photography, a few months into it, she was like, "This is the one." It's been 10 years. 10 years is not beans.
Are we going to have a party?
Party will. I will just message you. We'll have fun on my. Take a shot on my behalf, wherever you are, and send me a video. Say cheers to Jerrie to me.
Okay, we'll do that. You were raised in a Christian home.
Yep.
Your dad was a pastor.
Yep.
I think he's still a pastor.
Yep.
What was your faith like before and now? What is your faith like these days? And what has that done to you? Is it still the same? Is it different?
So,
all those type
I think that because we grew up in a Christian home, sort of like the foundation was there. You had to go to church, Sunday school, you had to be in children's church, you had to, all those things that he embed in you to just understand. I think when I got into my 20s, when life had to take the direction that it took, I did a lot of questioning. A lot of questioning in the sense that the person that's making me feel this way is supposed to be Christ-like. I grew up in this home where you go to church, you pray to God, you get other things, and I wasn't experiencing that. And I can't say that it didn't affect me, right? Where I didn't used to pray, I didn't used to do all of those churchy things because I was so upset because the person that was making me feel this is somebody that's supposed to have all these principles, but I'm not getting that. So why am I there? Right? That's why I said what I experienced really affected me in so many. It's crazy how one person can have so much effect on so many things that go on in your life. It affected me in everything, all ramifications, school-wise, how I thought, I was affected everywhere. And when you are affected in certain parts of your life, you start looking for shortcuts instead of doing the main thing that you're supposed to be doing. Instead of going the right way, you start. Now, it's not like I was doing, when I talk about shortcuts in this context, it's not like it's what I was doing. Shortcuts like a general, it's not like I was into drugs or anything, but shortcuts like a general, you just don't, you start looking for quick
wins.
Quick releases, quick things that will just, and so I'm not going to lie to you. I think my relationship with God took a massive hit. So when I felt like my relationship with God started sort of like adjusting was when I came out of coma. Because when I came out of coma, I was like, bruh, so I'm sorry for those die. She gets. And I remember the first Thanksgiving that I attended after all of this, when I went to church. That was the first time I was going to church in a long time. And I was overwhelmed. I was just crying throughout. Like they were singing worship, and I was just, and it was more like I needed to be here kind of thing. Like I've gone through so much.
You can't just die like that.
Yeah, I've gone through so much. Life has been tiring. All of this, and then I was just bawling. Like some people will probably looking at me like, sure, boy, you could later on here now. You get this kind of thing there, but I knew, I felt like a release. And I can't still say that my relationship with God is perfect, but I have a better understanding. Like I understand that. That's why I was telling you the other day that these people might serve God, they might be Christ-like, everything, but they are human beings, right? They will still do what they need to do. There are people in the Bible that were, David was a man after God's own heart, but he still messed up. Do you get? As a great as Elijah, as Elisha was, he had anger issues. As with all the work that Moses did to get the Israelites out of it, was his anger issue that didn't let him get into the promised land. Like it just made me. I just started making people can say making excuses, but it just made me realize that these people are so human beings. They will also do human being things, right? And so it now made me feel like my own relationship now had to be a personal relationship with this person. I can't be looking at other people as a yardstick for how my relationship with God should be. I can't be looking at a pastor. I understand that they are supposed to be guardians, but I also have to accept that they have room to do rubbish.
For imperfection.
So what is perfect, what is important to me is my own personal relationship. Where I am now is my own personal relationship with God. Because I can also do those mistakes. I can also do that rubbish. But what matters is the person that I'm connected to. Me and him are where I have my own relationship. So I can't lie to you. I still don't go to church. Till today, I don't go to church. But I pray. Now, it's not a pray without ceasing kind of thing like the Bible says we should do. Right? But I pray.
I love it.
My mom sends me prayer points to pray on. My mom sends me Bible verses to read on. I read them. I fast. There are times, and the thing is, there are times when things are not going well for me, and I know that the only way that things can go well for me is I have to pray to, like I have to have a heart to heart, and I pray, I fast, I talk to God. Sometimes I might not even pray, I might just listen to gospel music. When I came here, I was listening to gospel music, and sometimes gospel music just puts me in there are times when I'm feeling really down. I just play gospel music, and I just feel uplifted. God, see, I know that my relationship with God is not spiritual, but I know that God knows that I try. She gets, and I know that God acknowledges that I try, because I pray to God about certain things, and the only reason why that thing happened is because God acknowledged that prayer. There are times that I talk to God. Maybe I'm going through something, I just talk to God and I say, God, this is not happening, blah, 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 blah. I have a conversation. It doesn't mean that I didn't sin maybe 2 days ago, or I didn't tell somebody a lie, or I didn't. Do you understand? It's not like I didn't do that, but God still answers me. I know we say that God has grace, and that we should not overuse or overbank on our grace and all these kind of things. But I know that God knows that I try, and I can't lie that I've not been affected by my environment or my surroundings, especially because there are people that I looked up to. She gets. So I think now, in relation to my relationship with God, it's personal. I don't look at other people as people that will influence my own relationship with God. Do you get what I mean? I believe in my own self. I believe if I open my Bible and I read it, I can understand it to my ability. Yeah. If I don't understand anything, I'll call my mother. Afro, explain this thing to me. Or what do you think? This is what I think. I can be thinking about it from the logical point of view, because I'm very logical in my thinking. In fact, I feel like I'm too logical, that logic doesn't really work for the spiritual. And it's the truth, because I've gotten to explain it. I can't explain falling sick, getting into coma, and being in coma for 2 weeks. It's so funny that those 2 weeks I have no memory of whatever.
Really? I was going to ask, do you remember anything?
Nothing, blank. Wow. So for 2 weeks I was blank. I have no memory. I don't even think it's a thing where I was asleep. You know, some people can say maybe they were, when they're in the comatose state, maybe they were asleep, or they saw themselves in a chair. I don't have any recollection. It's like 2 weeks of my memory is blank in my life. Wow. So it's going from that to so I'm very logical, even in my doings. But I've come to realize that God doesn't really work with logic. So sometimes when I'm reading my Bible and I'm trying to be logical, I'll just call my mom now. You are the one that will give me the spiritual part of this. Yeah. So my relationship with God is not. I'm being honest here.
But are you at peace with your relationship with God?
I feel like it can be better. Okay. Right? I feel like it can be better because recently I'm in a bit of tussle with that. I feel like it can be better. Is the truth. But I think that it is okay. But the truth is, I know in my mind, I feel in my heart that okay is not enough. I know it's okay. I know it can be better. I know that okay is not enough. So I'm just slowly navigating into getting to that point where I am.
You're fully at peace with it.
Yeah, I'm fully at peace with it. Because I know that God loves me. I know that God knows that I know. God knows. No. I know that God knows that I love Him. God knows that I love Him. God knows that I still dabble into unnecessary doings. but like he knows that it's like our parents now. They know that we love our parents. We'll still go and meet our even if we fuck up, we'll still go and meet them now. Because they will scold you, they will do all those things, but they will still come. Yeah. And I feel like that is how my relationship. That's how I feel my relationship with God is. In relation to that, we have that rapport where we are mutuals, like we are mutual guys. Do you get that kind of thing? That's how I feel my relationship with him is.
I love it.
So
I really love it. I mean, as long as you know you are loved by your God.
Yep.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your love life been lately? Or what has
this is a very difficult conversation.
What is the drama?
Yeah, first of all, I'm single.
That was also the difficult thing to say.
I'm single.
What was that drama?
No, because well, so the thing is, I can't say I've had any messy breakups.
Oh, that's good.
I think I've had just one.
That's impressive.
Just one.
Knowing that you.
But all the people that I've been in a relationship with were cool. So amazing. It's not like we are cool as far we are talking every day kind of cool. No, but they can text me, they can call me, I can text them, I can call them. I need this thing. What's up? What do you think about this? We can have that kind of conversation. So it's not like it's messy. It's not like it was bad blood. If I see you, it's on sight. It's not that kind of thing. Yeah, they're very cool, they're very calm. It's very great. Yeah. But I'm single. I'm not desperately searching. But I think I'm open to that idea, but I'm not, it's not if I don't do this thing now, something's going to go on kind of situation.
That's good.
If it works, it works. I think I'm okay by myself. Mm-hmm. I'm open to having another person in my space and being in somebody else's space, but I'm not desperate for that to happen. Got it. You get so.
I like it. I think another question I was going to ask is, what is your trauma? How has it shown up in your relationships? Okay, so this is a very interesting question. The way it happened for me is that I started going to most of my relationships. It became a situation where I was a problem solver. And sometimes my partner does not need me to solve the problem. Sometimes my partner just needs me to listen to them. But when somebody starts telling me about discomfort, starts telling me about something that's stressing them, I go into problem solving mode because I've been doing problem solving for the long part of my life. So it automatically transitions. And I need to give up this vibe of, you're my dad, bro. You get? I'm not saying this. I know it can feel great for somebody to solve something for you. But like, there are times when I can solve it myself. But I want to rant. I want to complain. And I just want you to listen. Sympathize with me. Hug me. Give me assurances. But you had no recognition of
I had no recognition of what that was. To me, if you tell me that something is problem like this, my head is already beginning to go, okay, what do I have to do this? I have to do everything to make this person feel better. Yeah. Sometimes feeling better for them is just you listening to them. Yeah. You reassuring them about them. You've got this. You can do this. You can solve this. I trust you. It's an issue to go away. I'm here. I'm listening. If you need me to do something, you can talk to me about it. I will do it. As opposed to
you going.
I have to be able to let them also know what they need. What they need. And I feel like I had to learn that because a lot of my relationships was a situation where I had to be the problem solver. And then over time, I started learning that you can
chill.
you can chill, you can relax. Like you don't have to. I have to do it. No, you can relax.
I know because I've been that person too.
Yeah, you don't have to relax. You can just be.
Yeah.
Right? You can just be. Let them just talk to you.
That's so interesting.
Do you get? So I think that traumatic situation I had where I now had to start taking responsibility transitioned into that. Because I just felt like
it shows up in different areas of your life.
Because it just felt like once somebody is going through something, by default, I want to. So now I now got to the point where I had to start telling people that, look, I'm here. Whatever way you need me, I'm here. So that way, if you need me to problem solve it, I'll do it. If you need me to just listen, I'll do it. If you just need me to give you, because some people, they want you to listen and then advise as opposed to wanting to do it for them. Some people, they might have ideas of how they want to solve that thing by themselves, but all they need is for you to give them a bit of out of the box thoughts on the situation. So I just had to realize that there are so many ways to deal with, those kind of things. So I feel like it affected me. I had to unlearn just being a problem solver every time and be like, you know what? Let them make that choice. Make yourself available. Let them know that you are available for whatever they need to make them feel better. So
got it. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been a terrible lover to someone?
Let me see. I don't think I have.
Okay.
I'm being honest. I don't think I have. I think in most of my relationships, it has been very awesome. Like I can't even lie.
I'm actually very impressed with it because of the fact that with such a traumatic experience with, physical abuse, you are like, you were so intentional that even in your relationship.
Yeah. I think 95, if I think off my head now, I think 95 to 98%, if you talk to any of my exes, I don't think they will have anything bad to say about me. It's the truth.
Yeah. I think that, I have to say, like, I'm very impressed because, like I said, when I saw you and we spoke, in my head, I'm like, his core is still there. And now getting to even know that this was the entire traumatic experience you had to go through, I'm like, oh, that's double kudos to you. Like,
I think majority of my ex, I don't think they will say anything bad about me. Like I can pick up my phone and call any of them, and they will pick up and I'm like, Afro.
That's amazing.
They'll yarn. What's going on?
I love it.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
What does genuine love? What are you like when you're in love?
I think how you would know is that because I'm very by myself, once I get very comfortable, once every time I want you to just be in my space, I feel like that's when you know that I like you.
Got it.
Because I'm very by myself. I have a dog and I have a cat. And I have 13 plants. So I have things that catch my attention, that keep me keep me company. So once I'm bringing somebody into that space, I like them. So I feel like how I would know when I genuinely like somebody is that I think my love language is quality time. But quality time does not necessarily mean I have to be with you.
Yeah.
Right? We can be talking. That's quality time. I spend my time. And for me, I think that because, and this is it for me, this is my own opinion, by the way. People's time, I feel like people's time is very important. You could be using your time to do any other thing, but you're spending that time with me. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. I want you to have the best of time as well.
Do you understand? Yeah. Like, it's not you coming to see me. Bruh, you could be in your house watching TV. You can be watching Netflix. You can be sleeping. There's some people that like sleep. But the fact that they chose to come and spend it with me makes me feel special. That's how I see it. I feel like because it's my own time is very important to me. So if you're spending your own time with me, it makes me feel like you rate me enough to want to be in my company, to want to be in my space, to want to chill with me. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. You can be in my house and watching TV. Somebody can come to my house and sleep. but you chose to sleep there where I am. Do you get? It's just little bits. Do you get things?
What is the highest expression of love for you? Like what does the love of a good woman feel and look like for you? And what is the expression of it?
I'm trying to use the last relationship to do this.
Oh my god!
So,
is your last relationship the highest expression of love for you?
No, but like because that was the last time I was.
You were in that headspace.
Like in a proper relationship, love, everybody. We knew that we're committed to each other. We knew that whole thing. So I think, it's funny because it was long distance, different time zone, like 8 hours kind of time zone.
Could never be me.
So. It's so crazy because now when I think about stuff, I used to be up. I would sleep in the afternoon. So I'll be awake at night. Because when I'm awake at night,
that's when they're awake.
in the afternoon, so we can talk. So I feel like for me, I started when you start doing things that should be like a chore, but it is not a chore. I believe that is a problem. When you start doing things and it's supposed to normally it will give you discomfort, but you are doing it.
Your brain is shut down.
Yeah, it's almost like it's now a routine that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because I don't think I would be waking up by 2 a.m. to have a conversation with somebody. Because if to have time zone, we would be sleeping at 2. But at 2 a.m. I'm awake.
Oh my god.
Talking to somebody. Or they are watching something on TV, they come in on FaceTime, they put their phone on a tripod. And I'm watching this is they're watching on the TV. Through their phone.
Through their phone.
Yeah. So because that's what they are doing at the time. And just to be a part of that is what you get. So when you start doing, and I feel like when you start doing foolish things, I swear it's the truth. Because when you look back and you see some things that you're doing, like, I'm not supposed to be doing this thing. But like it's foolish, but like to you, it's normal.
Yeah.
I feel like when you start looking back and I can't believe I did this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do that thing, you catch yourself the next day.
And
that actually did it, but you still go back and do it. So at that point, you just like, you're
gone.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I think that is it.
I love it.
I think that's it. I think
what happened? Why you guys had what happened with the separation? Knowing that it was such a beautiful love.
I can't lie, it was a beautiful situation.
Oh.
But they did not want to get married. And they did not want to have kids. They had that conversation with me. So they had that conversation with me in the beginning. But I just went into it. Because when I went into it that, well, I'm not even looking for marriage now. I'm not looking for kids now. So we're in the same boat. So I went into it.
Got it.
Open-hearted. But like I said, the heart just likes stupid things. And then I went to it and then feelings became part of it. And I liked them. And this is something I've not said to anybody before. Because of how happy they made me feel, I was willing to do what they wanted. Meaning I was okay with not having kids. We could wiggle around the whole marriage part, but I was okay with like, I'm happy here. Do you get? And I was willing to do that. But they made the decision not to let me do it. Because it was a situation where they said, I would rather you still have a soft spot for me
than resent me later. I kudos to her.
They said, she said, this is not a question of whether I love you or not. You know for a fact that I love you, right? And I can tell you for a fact that I love you. But you and I can go into this thing with our love, yeah. But I feel like over the years, you might start wanting this thing. You might not want it now, you might not want it in 5 years, but over time, you might start thinking, I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. And I would be the cause of that resentment for you. But I wouldn't want you to have that.
I don't even know what I mean, but wherever she is, kudos to you. No jokes, like hands down respect. From a woman to another woman.
But she was like, I would prefer you to be sad now. Yeah. I prefer us to be sad. But I know that after all this sadness, you will see, I will still care for you how I care for you now. You still care for me. You still have a soft spot for me. Yeah. You can't have resentment towards, you can never have resentment towards me.
Never.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So it was more of like she made that decision. It's not as if she didn't love me, because I knew for a fact that she loved me. But she was like, I don't want this thing. You want it. We can go into it. But I'm okay. I don't think I can change my mind into wanting it. And if I change my mind into wanting it, I can always want it one way or the other. It can be like...
So you feel that was unfair for you?
Coming from a place of love, you will feel unfair. There's no how anybody... Look, even if the person is being logical, you are never going to agree.
But you're very logical now. You're
logical. You're going down the drain here. No matter how logical that person is, you are in your emotions. Yeah. Emotions have a way of toiling with logic.
I know.
Especially when it comes to matters of emotional this thing. You will feel bad. Logic, there's nothing about logic. Now your emotions, it's the way you are feeling at the moment. It's the way you are sad. You are tearing up.
Hard guy.
I'm a hard guy, bro. I'm a hard guy, I need to reach love. Bro.
Love it!
What?
Oh, so sweet.
Bruh, I think I was tearing up.
Oh.
Tearing up like this.
Oh.
God, why am I in tears? Why am I in tears? Bruh, I was just crying, man. Yeah, so, and since then, I've not been in a relationship.
But I really think that, I don't know how you feel now. I'm so sure in the future. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for you. Because the thing is...
No, so now, when I look back now, I get why she made that decision. Yeah? I get why she made that decision. And now, I'm talking now from a logical point of view now. Tears, emotion, why would you do this? It's a lot. So now, the real logical part of me is like, I get it.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense.
I like that.
And I understand.
And you forgave her?
It wasn't a thing of forgiveness. I didn't have any reasons to forgive her because she didn't wrong me, to be honest.
Amazing.
She didn't wrong me.
Sure.
She broke my heart, but it wasn't like breaking heart, like I had to do with like a message or something. So it was a decision that she needed to make.
Yeah, for the both of you.
For both of us. I'm not going to lie to you, I was never going to make it. It's the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I was never going to make that decision.
I was telling a friend of mine yesterday who sent me a love note that he wants to send to a girl. And he was like, check this thing for me. I'm like, I would die on a hill that every woman in their lifetime should experience the true love of a man. Like, the love of a man is completely different to what women know.
Let me let you, when a guy is in love with a babe, I'm not joking, like you know.
Sure.
I'm not even talking about all these, like you, when somebody loves you, you know.
Leave somebody out. When a man loves a woman,
you know.
Oh my God. I'm like, every woman.
Do you know what it is for somebody to tell you they don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids?
And you
say, they should get out. Tell the kids. Fuck them kids. Just because, and it's just, now that I think about it, I'm like, bruh, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about anything. Now that you think about it,
that you're now in a more logical state, would you still feel the same? Would you still feel the same way of fuck them kids?
Not that I'm in a logical way. I'm more in the fuck them kids, but it's more of like I want one. Do you get?
Yeah.
When I used to grow up then, I used to say, I'm gonna have 5 children, big family. You get? But now, man, shit. I don't want my partner to go through all these childbirth shenanigans, man. It takes a toll on women.
Yeah.
It's too much. You get? Like, women go through a whole lot.
Yeah.
You already deal with period once a month, like there's a reminder. Then you now have to go through childbirth, and then when you have childbirth, it can change your physique, can change your body. There's so many things. And like, I can't imagine somebody having to go through that 1 time, 2 times. What the hell, man? I don't think I want to put my partner through that. Yeah. Even the one that I'm saying is just because. To be honest, it's just because. I know for a fact that I want to get married. I know for a fact that I want to be in a committed relationship. I know for a fact that I want to be in a commitment with somebody for the rest of my life. I don't think I want to do this life alone.
I don't think anybody wants to do life alone.
But in relation to the children part, I'm a bit more open to other ideas of it. Maybe surrogacy, maybe anything that, if my partner is open to having children, that's great. But I've already said it going forward. I'm not having a big family. So it's a conversation that I used to have. I'm not here to have 5 kids, man. If you have 5 kids, if that's what you want, I don't want it. We can't align.
Yeah.
There's somebody that I was really attracted, that I really liked. And she said she wanted 5 children. I said, I don't want 5 children. And it was very easy. We're close, we're close, but like from there we just knew that we're going to have issues in relation to that. So let's just keep it moving. Let's just remain guys.
I love it so much. Oh, I don't even know what to ask you anymore. I think one last thing. Yeah. Because we've spent so much time.
Yep.
I think what makes you feel scared as a man that most women don't know or understand? Or what are the things that you go through as a man that most women can never understand or fathom?
That's very interesting. So there's this thing that I do that is wrong, right? When I go into moods, I can just start eating. I cannot be talking like you. I cannot be like this. I'm not saying anything, no.
That's horrible.
You would know that something is bothering me, right? But I think the thing that I do, like, people something that scares me, really. I'm not even going to lie, like, and I'm saying this from being as honest as I can. One thing that genuinely scares me is divorce. And the reason why it scares me is because I know that my heart is very open, right? And I like to give myself away, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. I like to give myself away. So I'm very scared of the idea of doing that and it not working out.
I think most men are.
I'm very, very scared of that because I feel like it takes a lot of decision to say this person's I'm going to spend the rest of your life with. And I'm kind of person that I feel like if I tell someone I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, you are collecting his life. Do you understand? So imagine if halfway you now say, oh, Shemo,
you're collecting the life.
Yeah. You now say, oh, Shemo. So like,
where do you want me to go?
Where do you want to go? You want to start talking to people again? I'm going to go. I feel like I'm the kind of person that I feel like if I marry if I marry somebody and it doesn't work out, I might not do it again. Because I feel like it takes it, and I subconsciously I feel like maybe that's another reason why I'm still single. Because heartbreak is a shitty thing. It is. And I've experienced it. And that is from somebody that is just your girlfriend. I can't imagine what heartbreak from somebody that is supposed to be your partner for life is like. And I don't think I want to experience it. And it scares me. It scares me a whole lot that. And it's just crazy because people can just wake up one day. People can just wake up one day and say they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand. Sometimes it might not even be you, it can be them.
Yep.
It can be them.
Yeah.
And you just have to take it.
Yeah.
And it's very scary because you just be there, you are giving somebody your love, you're doing all your best, you're trying to make them happy, you're doing all these things, you're trying to, and one day they'll just wake up and it's, maybe they're depressed. All the things you're doing is not just working. And you just have to let them go. It's scary, I mean. I can't lie, it's very scary.
It is scary.
It's very scary.
A friend of mine once said to me when he was getting married, the person he was marrying was way younger than him. And I think his biggest fear was the fact that this person will wake up one day and realize that they've not done life because she was in her early 20s and he was maybe 30 or 30 something at the time. And it's like, that's my biggest fear. Like, what if she says like, oh, she has not lived her life. She just became a missing.
Oh, man, I used to tell this 20-something people, I'm not the one for you. No.
Because you've not lived your life. That's why it's
yes. Please.
So he said, like, and then it was the biggest fear for him for a very long time throughout their entire getting married journey because he had proposed and all of that. And I can't remember how he said it. They were in therapy. He has always done therapy even before he ever even started dating her. So kudos to him. And then he said one time that he realized much later in therapy session one time that the onus is actually on him. In the sense that, and this is not to even say like people can wake up and say they are depressed and they want to just go.
Yeah.
That happens. But I've come to realize that women are reciprocators. Women are, if you give a woman one thing, she will make something of it. It's just what it is. That one thing doesn't have to be a good thing. It can be a bad thing or a good thing. It's whatever it is that you give that she makes something of it. And then he said, I realized that the onus is actually on me to make sure that I'm constantly being a better man.
Yeah.
I'm constantly leveling up to the type of love that suits who she is, the type of love that aligns with who she is. Because a lot of men can be saying, oh, I do everything for her. And the woman can be like, but that's not even what I want. Do you get? And I think that they've been married almost 7 years now, and it's still beautiful. And he's such a wise man that at some point he told me one time, I think last year, was like, I've gone back to therapy. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know, I just feel like I need to get my shit together again. Not that I'm not doing well. And I remember after therapy, he said to me, he was like, they have 2 kids now. It was like, she doesn't know it, but if we have a third kid, it can shake our marriage. And that was such a beautiful thing to see how he's ahead of her constantly. So I don't know if that's going to help you in any way, but yeah, I thought to tell you that. Like, women are reciprocators. Women are not initiators. When you see a woman who is initiated, it's because of the man that she has is not an initiator. So women are if this is what you give me, I'll make 10 times of it. Especially when it is in alignment with me, when it makes me feel safe, when I'm at peace, when I feel loved. Women are not difficult. It seems like we are emotional. No. So we can be. But with a man that actually loves us. That's what I'm just like, see, my prayer for every woman is to find the man that loves them. Yeah. That's just the prayer. It's easy. It's easy. So I don't know if that's going to help your fearful decision.
When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it,
cross it.
I mean, because it's not like I'm not open to it anyway.
Yeah. No, I feel like you're such a beautiful human and you do such great job on learning that you're open to. And I think that's a fantastic skill to have. Yeah. As things change, you immediately morph to change.
Yeah.
The people are very, very limited in their thinking that, oh, it has to be this way. And I'm like, yeah, but you're causing yourself so much disservice and damage that you don't even see what what is in front of you that you can morph into and that can give you better. This is what we say exceedingly abundantly is if you actually go in the direction that God is saying go. Look at you, for instance. None of us thought you would do photography. I'm still shocked that you went to photography, and look at how successful you are, at peace that you are, and you're just living a beautiful life with your dog and your cats.
Yeah, so
I'm just like so beautiful. So, Jerry, trust me, we didn't even cover 10% of the questions.
I know.
But
We'll do part 2. Watch out. The return.
did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did. It was a good one.
Thank you.
It was a good one.
Thank you for coming.
You are welcome.
Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for constantly getting yourself out of the grave of what life gives to you.
Yep.
That is, a lot of people don't talk about that. You've done it over and over and over. I know. I know, because I have to. And well done.
Thank you very much.
It's not something that people celebrate. And well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Yay.